You want to keep an eye on your agents?
Indeed, I got to inform all the agents about what's going on. So we're here with Cesar Harada, and we're still talking about. So he's from MakerBay in Hong Kong. Are we planning a Hong Kong event January early?
So the date is sort of flexible because I know that you want to be running another STEM camp in Missouri. I mean, you want to have many of them in different places at the same time, right?
Right.
And so I don't want to conflict with your schedule. And on my side, I think I have some flexibility. It looks like we might be able to do the STEM camp. So my suggestion is that if you're coming to Hong Kong, instead of flying 30 people across the ocean, and then we could do it later. And so maybe like this, it's a way to bring you more business later in the year. Or it will be an activity for the second semester, and it will also give us more time to mobilize more people in Asia.
Would you, by any chance, be available for any time between June, July, August next year to come actually here?
In the summer, we've already planned to do some rapid development for our drone that maps coral. So we are building a drone that maps coral. So during the summer, I'm going to be doing that. But during the second semester, which is between January until June, then that's the time where I could more easily mobilize students and either if you came to Hong Kong, I mean somewhere in Asia or we came to you, I think it's way cheaper for us.
Yeah.
And it would be more money for you if you came instead of us coming to you. And then we have loads of equipment on MakerBay.
Yeah.
Where we could actually do I think most of the things you want to do.
Yeah, I'm open to that by all means. I'm just asking because Summer of Extreme Design build is coming next year, and we're going to do some crazy builds here. So I was wondering if you'd be a part of that. Just thinking ahead. Yeah.
So love to, but it's just I'm not yet.
Yeah. No, that's fine. So let's talk about January. So I'm open to everything. Like idea was that we're looking to run multiple events at the same time, but early January that doesn't look quite possible. So we're just doing it as we can. But I think to go there in January it's a definite option. So let's talk about that. What can we do? I think we can deliver pretty well on the first 4 days of the curriculum. Now, actually, Yale Fox is working on a Raspberry Pi, and we're framing that around a video studio. So the Raspberry Pi would have a tripod, it would be used for documentation, and it would have time-lapse, long-life battery, wireless mic. We'd integrate with that. But that's his project. Let's see if he can deliver. We'll see about that. The idea there was to kind of shift that to an open source video studio as far as the Raspberry Pi tablet goes. And that'll be an amazing project. Because that also integrates with controlling drones, controlling 3D printers. The thing I actually spec'd out for him, and let's see if that's possible, but basically put a SIM card in there too. So maybe add a Pi Zero and a SIM card, because I'd like to have this thing that I'm really walking the walk where I'm using the stuff I build, you know. And I'd gladly give up my cell phone to do the DIY simple Raspberry Pi phone included in that tablet. Okay, but that's questionable for early January. However, you're excited about robotic arm and spitting mud into 3D structures in the January event. Is that so?
I mean, for us, what I was saying with our team is that we don't really have the bandwidth to do line cards and help to prepare the contents. And then at the same time, so that's what on one hand is that we felt like, okay, instead of being organizer, we could be participants, and we could bring in more participants. And then on the other hand, we also had this interest from, we had a meeting with a guy called David Mallox, who is the architect of some of the World Colors buildings, who was asking us if we'd be interested in doing some collaboration on the project that we won with NASA recently, which was the prototyping of Mars habitat.
Yeah.
And so because we have a lot of machines here, like robotic arm, or we also made us initially, we use for printing terracotta. So there's already a lot of expertise in Hong Kong about how to print with mud basically,
Yeah.
and in a digital form. And so what I said was that okay, sometimes you have one problem plus one problem is more problem. Sometimes you have one problem and another problem, and you make it into a solution. And that was a example of that. So I thought, okay, well, we don't have the bandwidth to prepare with Marcin, like to be mentors. But if we are students, and we use this time to prototype after we have learned the things with Marcin, can we apply some of what Marcin does and apply it for this project with the Mars habitats? So that was the thinking, and then we started to look into the detail of how that could look. But now what I was saying is that maybe January, maybe a little bit. I don't want to add more to this deadline that you already have in January. What I'm saying is that we could do it a bit later, so that this you would have run it, the STEM camp already, in different locations, you would have gained more experience, and that this we could hire you basically to really focus on that particular space application. So for example, let's say after the STEM camp, you have a few weeks later or a few months later, after the STEM camp is runs, if you see that you have a gap, we could fly you and other people that you know are competent over to Hong Kong. And I think we could really do the same thing here in Asia and get more people involved and bring a business into our gap.
Yeah. What kind of timeline are you thinking?
Um, it's sort of open. We have a reading week at the university where the students have a lot of time. So it means that we have 1 week that is solid. I'm gonna check it out now. So, so we have a Chinese New Year here that is very everybody's on holiday. So definitely want to be away from Chinese New Year, which is going to be January 25 to February the 3rd. So definitely want to do that after. The best time I would say would be the reading week, which would be from March 9th, and we could do it for 2 weeks. So we could do it from March 9th. So the reading week is from March 9th until the 15th. But we could possibly extend and just skip a couple of other classes because I think the project is more exciting than anything that we could do. Until March the 22nd, then we could do 2 weeks solid. Uh, between HKU, University of Hong Kong, and MakerBay, and we just do your STEM camp curriculum first, and then we focus on the production of the mobile printer basically. I think that could be a really
Mobile
good
printer
timing.
with robot arm?
Exactly, basically your robot arm on a kind of a simple tractor base that's controlled with a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino. That would be a really cool project. And we already have a mud preparation machine, a mud mixer. We already have this machine.
Yeah. Okay.
And we have like a ticket that already use, they know already how to program those arms for 3 printing mud.
Yeah. So what
Um,
do you think we could do? So can you do some development on that to get some way on open sourcing the robotic arms? Because that's that wasn't we don't have experience with that yet. Can you lead some of that, or
yeah,
how are you thinking about it?
my thinking was yes, a robotic arm, but more sort of the element that you would have in a CNC. So instead of having an arm with like kind of like rotary joints, I think it was more around having like sliding axis. And actually, if you look at the design of the AI space factory, the architecture firm that we would like to partner with you as well, the robotic arm is very much it's not like this. It's more like a vertical axis.
Your
And
video cut out. Is that bandwidth or?
oh, maybe because I'm looking at the calendar. Sorry. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're
Maybe
not
I
thinking
should.
about robot arm, but do it a Cartesian arm.
Exactly. This is the Chinese dancing lady.
What is that?
So yeah, every morning you have old ladies dancing on the bridge. So this way.
Okay. Cool.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah.
a little culture.
So what I'm saying is that instead of having an arm for the purpose of this project, it could also be that there's a telescopic arm vertical and another extension
Yeah.
for printing. But there's another solution so that this could reuse more of the design that you already have for like a
Yeah.
torch table.
Right. Yeah.
So that if you don't have to invent the wheel, you could use in most parts stuff that you have already developed or that you are more acquainted with.
Yeah. It's doable. Doable. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think this kind of time will be possible? So, for example, like the reading week of March 2020, or the other possibilities could be, so they have the exams, um, or it could be during the summer holiday at the very beginning of the summer. It could also be at the very beginning of the summer. From So it's basically like the very beginning of May. That could be the second option. I could give you a more precise date, but you see the idea is that we fly you over here, and we try to find other talented people from Asia, and we do the same camp for the first part, and the second part we focus more on the space application, hypothetical space application.
Yeah. What I would do is definitely the earlier part because by May that's going to be getting ready for
I
for
see.
the summer. So
So
May
you
would
want to
be
do it early.
yeah. So March would be better. Now,
Uh-huh.
do you have some people that can? What kind of level of finishing do you want? Because if it's an experimental thing, no problem. But to get to a well-developed product, it is a problem because I don't have the time at that time. I'm going to be pretty busy developing
So
stuff for the summer.
summer. Yeah.
Um,
I
so,
don't.
given that that's a different topic than the Steam
Yeah.
Camp, the small projects that we're doing right now,
Yeah.
so it's a little tight on the development time. But if you have two questions are what resources do you have? Like, do you have some people here that can really take charge of some organization of that so that we can take I think the universal axis in a 2-inch version we could do gantries that are for what we have here like 10 feet pretty easily, and if we work at it like 20 feet gantry size, like a thing that's telescopes out about 10 feet out is probably
Wow.
relatively easy. Longer than that gets a little more tricky mechanically.
Nice.
um, but that's the kind of scale we could be talking about. We haven't. Yeah, yeah. That's relatively easy to accomplish. But do we have anything any people on your side that can help like get into that? And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm
The
not
people
doing
on
it
my
because I
side,
mean I really can't do it.
the people on my side maybe I think much less experience in like heavy fabrication, but I think they are good in the coding parts. They are going to be good in electronics parts.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be good in they're going to be good in the supplier side, planning parts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's just kind of area where I think that's the strength. I think. Um, so yeah, I do university. They are very good with the software part, the Rhino and Grasshopper programming. So basically, they're really good at preparing the file to get it to be done executed by a robotic arm. I think that's the part that they have the most experience with.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, in MakerBay, we have built a Android-powered vehicle, like a car that is controlled
Yeah,
by Android.
yeah,
It's not like a functional car, but I think for prototype,
yeah.
that's very doable.
That's the platform you want to use for this.
I think we can use something even smaller. We don't have to use something as big as the car because I mean, first the car structure was is very heavy. I think the car was like 750 kg, just the frame, and it might be too heavy for what we wanna do. Ideally, we want to do something that's maybe like based on an aluminum frame, and hopefully that's less than 500 kg, so that it's something that we can also easily ship to you know. I mean, something that's a bit more realistic for a space application because in space, the weight is such a huge constraint.
So you want to do aluminum? Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just also because I think aluminum is easier to machine. It's going to be easier, I think, for the people here to work with aluminum if it's for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to find extrusions and joints. So I'm thinking that might be, I mean, for the frame of the car. But I'm open. I don't have like a very strong opinion. As long as the idea that we build something that can 3D print mud on the Earth, but the whole idea for us is to do something that's going to be replicable, or like be a good base for thinking of how you build in space.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole purpose of this research. So that's why you're saying that you're worried that you're not going to be good enough in R&D for like this time because you're going to be very busy. It's okay. It's not about developing a product that is finished. It's more about developing principles and testing principles, and it would have to be further refined and it would have to be adapted for space.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's more about testing principles and getting something to demonstrate that it could work rather than, okay, I need to like make a torch because I need to start a business. Here it's research. It's Earth tests for space science.
Mm-hmm. And that's would be run by your department. Would you be involved with
Yeah,
that in that way? Like, do you do research on that?
exactly, exactly. So that because for me that would become the focus of my teaching. So I could dedicate my time and some of the invested resources like space and my students' time. So I have 15 students. Um, And my thinking is that this project, I think, is so interesting. I would love to involve other people from Japan or from mainland China or from Korea, students that could see a lot of value in some of this experimental work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
What about the other company, the other one who are they? The one guys in Hong Kong?
sure. So the other companies
Is
that I
that
mentioned, the first, yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, once again, open source. Like, is open source going to
yeah,
be an
yeah,
issue?
yeah, of course. So the main client eventually is NASA because they basically want to kind of crowdsource the development of Mars habitat, so the
Yeah.
organized competition. The competition was won by the AI Space Factory. So AI Space Factory is a kind of it's a startup that is focused on space architecture and also very tall buildings on Earth. So it's the guy one of the partners, his name is David Malletz. In Hong Kong, he was the architect of the ICC, which is the tallest tower in Hong Kong here. And so when we met him at the ICC, and he presented to us Marshall and Terra, the two projects that one won the NASA Future Challenge, and the other one is successfully crowdfunding and renting this really fancy space-looking house that is going to be based in upstate New York.
Right, but it's like Marcia and Terra. I mean, is any of that IP open source or is that all proprietary?
As far as I know, it's pretty much all open source, but I think they didn't really take the time to make it open source because from our discussion, he said that he's willing to make this technology open source, but then the reason he's saying is that they've been running so fast and so focused on R&D, and because the community is also quite small, frankly, like people expressed in space architecture, there hasn't been a huge demand for unlike what you do, like what you do is like is a concern of like every farmers could use the technology that you work or working with. And he says like there's only a handful of people who are wanting to build on Mars, and the people who do that, they're typically part of like big groups. There's not so many people in the hobbyists, DIY, or in universities that are doing that yet. It's very new, it's very emergent. But from my discussion with him, yes, it seems that he's happy. At least if the part that we do, I think he's very happy that we share it.
Hmm.
And I said I want to work open source, and also because I work in the context of academia, so for me it also makes sense that it's open source.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, it's a cultural thing. I mean, it's like if you're gonna take on a big problem, you better start open source because I
I
mean,
agree,
it's too
totally
big
agree.
for anybody, right? But
Yeah.
unless they're explicit about it, that means the culture is new to them, and they're probably gonna be resisting the kind of openness we want to do. But anyway, uh,
Uh,
like especially when it comes to smelling the money, that it's gonna be closed. I mean, that's been our
so
experience for just about everything. So I don't want to be pissing on a
yeah.
parade here. It's just realism. There's very, very few people who appreciate the culture and actually are willing to make
Yeah.
products, distribute them as open source for economic value. So very few, very,
I
very,
think
very rare. But anyway,
I
I
think
don't think that should stop this. Just kind of setting expectations that we shouldn't expect that these guys are going to jump on open sourcing their tool chains. But
mm,
it might be a collaboration as long as we're aware that nothing interferes in open collaboration. Like when we want to publish our stuff openly or take
right
their stuff and publish it in ours, they should be willing to
to.
do that. Otherwise, there's conflict.
So when you're saying smelling the money, yes and no, because you'd be surprised actually in space, in sort of like space architecture, there's not so much money yet,
Right.
because this is very far fetched. And so for example, the reason why they are eager to work with us is that they don't necessarily have the resource internally to finance their own R&D. They can do some R&D, and they are doing some of it by well, two things. They are building a land version called Terra, and they are basically renting it like a hotel. So that's
Right.
number
Right.
one.
So how they
And the second,
tell me how what kind of machine did they use to do that? Was that a robot or was it Cartesian
the
arm?
one that they're using right now, I think it's a ABB robotic arm that
Okay.
is attached to a like a construction crane, sort of
Yeah.
like not a crane, but how do you call it, like this heavy lifting um, like sort of like a forklift that
Yeah.
has a yeah that has this kind of like a top that you can move.
Yeah.
So you can lift your ABB arm super high.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're intending to use. But the thing is that this technology is land technique technology, and it's not really transferable to space. And because you can never bring an ABB robotic arm in space, it's just too heavy, and
Right.
you don't have like this kind of like forklift in space. It wouldn't make
I
sense.
see. So
So
space
that's the
frames.
reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the reason why I think this is so interesting because the design, if we can make it a bit heavier, on the heavier side for us to prototype and over engineer it, but the idea is that can we design a principle that could be collapsible
Oh
and put
yeah.
into a stage and put into
Yeah.
a spaceship basically.
I could see a tower that's got an arm on top, if it's especially if it's a circular structure, and that could be a lightweight space frame tower with the
Exactly.
Cartesian robot on the top. Yeah.
I went, I mean, I've been brainstorming a bit with my team, and we came also to the conclusion that another way that could be productive
Yeah.
is to build a tensile tube. So build like basically four vertical poles, and they are attached by cables and triangulated with cables and anchored into the ground. So basically build a cable frame with the four vertical poles, and then we use a suspended printer. So a printer that is not on just on ropes.
Yeah.
You probably have seen those
Yeah.
like
Yeah. That's Hank
frame.
Printer. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I've seen
it's
that.
built by this Icelandic or Norwegian
Yeah.
firm.
That's
That's it.
Tobin. Yeah. Yeah. I know him.
And so this kind of approach, I think, could be would be very relevant as well because then you just need to have a feeder and a way to pressurize the nuts and bring it to the printer head. And then you could get a very large structure without having to have vehicles, just the printer head, so much more compact. So
Yeah,
that's
however,
a
I mean, it's in principle that sounds right. However, the mass is in the materials handling. So
yeah.
my immediate critique of that would be the stability of that on ropes. Like that's, I mean, that's some precision there. Like, because of course, if you got it on ropes, it's just like what's it called? That other, the the CNC mill that's on the ropes.
Yeah,
That thing.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Performance suffers, but yeah, maybe it's doable. But I don't think it's an easy technical challenge. I think it's much easier to do a stiff Cartesian robot that's taller, that's
I
bigger.
agree.
I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, um,
The other possibility is to print it on the inside. So instead of having the vehicle
yeah,
to be outside with a very, very long arm, because you have
yeah.
to have the diameter plus the margin of being outside of the structure.
Oh
Instead of
yeah,
printing it
some,
on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want to do that, that's, yeah. You pull up the tractor or whatever, you put that into place, and then you have to leave the building at the end.
That's
So
right.
make
If
yourself a
it is
big
the
door.
yeah,
Yeah,
if it is the base and the structure, it could be more like a crane then, and you have like a counterweight.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
then I think it's a lot more doable, and also that means that over time the machine becomes more stable because you'll be less subject to the winds or weather perturbation. So that could be another approach that could be
because you're
selected.
self-protected.
Exactly, you
Oh,
build
that's
the
interesting.
structure around yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you see, we're still very, very open around the technology.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's doable. That's doable. What size were you thinking for a prototype?
I'm thinking if we give the same scale as what they have built at the NASA Sentinel Challenge, I think it was 30% of the scale. So that means that the structure was about 5 meters in height.
5 meters
You
in
have
height, and
yeah,
what was the diameter?
diameter I think must have been around 2.5, 2.5 by 5, it's 1 by 2 in height. The ratio is 1 by 2. So like 5 high and 2
Five
meter,
by two point
2.5
five.
meters. Yeah,
Yeah, that's easy.
yeah.
That's not a big
Then
deal. Yeah.
so
Um,
that's why I'm thinking like, if you use a Cartesian, we use the same kind of motorization and tube structure that what you have for the torch, it's just a little bit bigger, and we put that on
yeah.
wheels. Then I think it's possible.
Yeah. 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 That's doable. And then that thing rotates. It's got a rotating joint. So
Yeah, I wonder if it's. I think it's better that the platform on top of the
yeah.
wheels can move rather than the wheels because if you have uneven terrain,
Yeah. Yeah.
then the technology is
Yeah.
not
So
really
that
transferable.
right. So basically, like the base of a robot that rotates, which is quite
I think
doable
so.
with these fat. That would be a great experiment of a super high gear down ratio split ring planetary gear,
Right.
which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
totally 3D printable. We could do that kind of stuff 3D printing. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Because
Do you have
because
any
it
people who
moves.
work on that, like planetary gears or 3D printing?
We have to printing planetary gears. We haven't experimented with that, but that could be part of the preparation. Yes.
If you guys can do some work on that, that's very interesting for us because I really like the planetary gear downs. It's
Uh-huh.
such a compact form factor and it lends itself to 3D printing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think is it accurate? There's no flashback. Is it like a
That's the part to work out, like how to how what the performance of it is.
Mhm.
But I think at this level, I think you'll probably get enough detail, like for a house printing application. You can do that with even a decent sized stepper motor could get you that drive power. Because I mean the torque gear down on these things, it's very easy to get like 100 or 200 using a
production?
yeah like. Have you heard of what? Do you know what I'm talking about when I say split ring planetary gear? Have you heard of that?
No, I
Okay,
haven't
yeah,
heard
I'll
of this,
send you
but
that. You'll be amazed. I'll send you a
Okay.
video to show you what that's about. But yeah, it's like we have to look at it and it's like, no, this is not possible. And yes, it is.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, so, so do you think the dates would be possible? I think
March
I can
what?
develop. So for March, from March, the say it starts March 9, and we do the stand camp. Maybe we could do it in 4 days if you want to, but we could also stretch it a little bit to 5 days if you want to do more documentation time. For example, so from 9 to say 13, we do the stand camp, and then the second week, from 16 to 22nd, we do the space part.
Okay, so
And if you could fly you and maybe somebody else that you enjoy working with, or that you want to bring to Asia, or that you think has a strong interest in planetary gear, or or that you want to bring because after the workshop you want to spend some time in Shenzhen to get some manufacturing or some sourcing. How the kind of timeline looks for you?
yeah, it's
Because
good. I mean,
you
I don't have stuff in March yet.
okay.
Um, so do you want to do like the what would you see happening? Like, do we want to do something like the Raspberry Pi tablet as the fifth day, and then, or do the all the project days are? We might as well probably dedicate it to the development of the mud printer, the Mars
I
printer.
I think so
So
because I think the time is very short, right, for
yeah,
the
yeah.
ambition of the
So
project. Yeah.
yeah, so 4 days for the camp. So you're talking like 9 through the 12th, and then start on the 13th for the like would
I
5 days
think
be enough? You think?
yeah, I think the kids would typically like to take probably a day off between the stand camp and then the space Mount Punta.
Uh huh.
I think they probably take a day off in between. So I would say like if we can do 9 to 13, we could extend instead of doing the stand camp in 4 days, we could do it in five if you wanted to do a bit more documentation or
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. And then take a day off on the say the 14th, and then resume on the 15th about the space camp, the
So
space tech.
so space camp starts on the 15th, the Sunday.
Exactly.
What
Yeah.
would be ideal for you for the length of that? Oh, I got booted out.
Oh,
Sorry about
sorry.
that. Um,
Okay, so I said again. So basically 9 to 13 is stand camp. One day off is the Saturday 14th. Then 15 to the 22, basically the Sunday to Sunday, we work on the space technologies.
okay, full week of space tech.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. How would that look for you?
Um,
We
can we
we can
do
work out.
4 days, 1 day off, and restart on the 14th through the 20th?
Yes, sure, can do. Yeah, that also works. Don't worry.
So basically 2 weeks uh, altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And you're seeing that the same clientele comes for one and the other. or more people for the other? Or
Ideally, we'd like to have people to take everything, to take both of the
yeah,
weeks.
yeah,
Reading week is a week where we could have more people from Hong Kong University in particular, because this week the students it's called the reading week, so they don't have to take any course, which means that they will be all available to learn. So that opens up to more students potentially. And the week that is after, I'll have to check if that's not the time where they have exam. But I think for my students at least, because my students don't have exam, because I don't do like, oh, you have an exam at the end of the year. I I just I evaluate them every week.
yeah,
I literally grade them every week. So
yeah.
for my students for sure. And for the second week, if it's space related, my thinking is ideally we would have the people for 2 weeks straight. But if we have some geniuses from other places, for example, like the other people, other partner, like Alvaro personally, the guy is he's super high caliber. Like he can make everything. He can make robotic arms, he can code, he can write AI, he can build anything. He can build like wireless networks. He's
Is he a
he's a
student or is he
physician.
at MakerBay?
I have students in the class and I'd be super interested to join as well. I can
No,
send
but
you a
Alvaro is
couple.
from where? Is he from
Sorry?
HKU? Alvaro is from where?
Oh no, Alvaro is from CTU, which is another university, one of the good universities here. And he's just joined from University of Tokyo. He was a professor of applied mathematics for 10 years at the University of Tokyo. But he studied physics, he got a PhD in physics from France.
And what's his role here?
I think he would be like one of the like a facilitator as well. Because
For
he's,
the
he's so capable.
both weeks or first week? Second week.
Uh, I mean, it really depends how you want to architecture it.
Yeah.
I think for both weeks, he's a guy that maybe doesn't have much bandwidth to prepare, but while the workshop is happening, I think he could be easily on top of what you want to do, and so he could be supporting the students. So, for example, like, instead of you having to bring a lot of people, he could be one of the people locally that can help. And I think he can get familiar with material very fast. He's a genius, like a mechanical and software genius. He built ultra fast robotic arm that can play ping pong, like tracking balls and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
He's amazing. He's an amazing guy.
Is he open source supportive or?
Yeah, very much. And the other person that I'm trying to invite, her name is Hannah Furlong. She is now in the University of Kyoto, and she's a professor of soft robotics. So her specialty is soft robotics and energy autonomous systems. So she's focused on microbial fuel cell, and low power robots.
Mm-hmm.
So it's she's not as fast as Alvaro. Like Alvaro is insane, like he's really fast. But she's more experimental maybe and more interested in biomimetic system. So I think she's more creative and kind of inspired. Maybe not as quick as Alvaro, but she's super smart and she's more like futuristic thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them are brilliant, and I love to work with both of them. And I think that could be a great platform to do that. And there's another girl in HKU, who's a girl who's really, really amazing at robotic arm control for mud trains. And I'd love to involve her as well. So she's the one who writes all the software for the robotic arm, and she's basically the person who uses robotic arm the most in the university. So she does it every day. She's every day on the
Student?
robotic arm. No, faculty, technician, technical faculty, and researcher. On the student side, I mean, my students are young. I'm not gonna lie. Like my students are first year bachelors, so they're fresh. They typically meet with academics, so they will study material, they will learn fast, but they are very fresh. So that's for my students. But I'm thinking to also bring some of my MakerBay staff. Some of them are very capable. And the people from other universities, they also they could be more master level students. They could be higher level students.
Okay. Yeah. Um, who would I be working with in terms of preparing, getting the materials and all that? How would we organize that?
So I will be a primary point of contact for everything. I think that's logistic. For the design part and building websites and building documentation, you might be working with Chris, who's a software developer in my team. If it's for like online stuff, if it's for product design and CAD work, it will be with Michael, who is the mechanical. He's a industrial designer, so he's a SolidWorks guy, and he works like in injection molding and manufacturing stuff. So this will be the three main people on the MakerBay team on the production side. And on the admin side, what is like Visa, it will be Anthony. We have a admin person who does all our admin stuff like tickets and hotels and transportation and Visa. That'll be Anthony Yuan. In business, money wise, it will be Chiki, MakerBay CEO. So we have a team set up and we all have quite already we have clearly defined roles typically. If it's for computer systems, software development will be Chris and Chiki, because Chris is actually a computer engineer. Chiki is a computer engineer by background.
Chris is also a computer engineer.
By background, he's a physicist, but in practice, he works in game development and robotics. And Michael, he's like industrial designer, so he works in like product development R&D, like CAD and injection molding, quality control.
Yeah. You can. So if we got to CAD up stuff, like I get him on. Okay, here's the design. Can I get him to do it?
Yeah, I think if we can agree on the dates, and I can secure some funding from the university, and get the green light from the department, and then we know that this is going to run, then I think then I can definitely allocate some of my staff time to be focused on that.
Staff time at HKU.
No, mostly for MakerBay because at HKU I don't have assistants yet. So I think maybe some of the like Lydia, the lady who is doing the robotic arm, I think she would be interested to use some of her time. But I don't know yet if that in that period of time how free she is. I haven't fully discussed I haven't discussed the project enough yet. But if we I wanted to discuss with you first, like, just to know roughly like what is possible for you or that's interesting for you. But if we can agree on the broad concepts, dates, and what we're going to be doing, then I can dig deeper and start to see like who has bandwidth and who has resources to allocate.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool.
And I'm trying to get David Malott, so I'm trying to get some people from the aerospace factory to either come in person. That would be ideal because they are based in New York. But David Malott also comes to Hong Kong at least once a month. So if you could get him to be there as well. But he's more on the conceptual level, right? Like he's a big executive of like large architecture firm. He do less technical work than more like concept and thinking of business development. But he has a lot of knowledge about tall buildings, like construction. So he has solid experience as well. But he's not going to be like as hands-on. I think he'll be more like on the advanced level at that kind of level of seniority. Unlike us, even if we are senior, but we are still very, very hands-on. I think when you're like head of an architecture firm with 250 people, you're not CADing, you are doing business meetings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you see this working out? So would this be basically where we're organizing the event and having people register, and That's pretty much so.
We
The
could,
finances work essentially like we're running a Steam camp, except it's Hong Kong. We're getting invited there. Um,
yeah. I think instead of youth having to think about registration, basically we look after that part. What we can guarantee is that we can have a core of students that come from our course, for example, that can provide the bulk of the financial support, basically, because the course doesn't show them. And then we can have a registration that's open to international students. So where we call to University of Tokyo and Kyoto that I mentioned, and other best universities in Asia, or also in Africa. So I talked to Emeka
yep,
Okafor,
yep,
and I said to him that if you have a core team of Hong Kong students, let's say 15, and then we open it up to get the smartest people from Asia, from Africa to fly to Hong Kong for 2 weeks straight to do that work, then it opens actually more avenues for funding because having super smart African kids to work on space technology in Hong Kong, that's a pretty cool story. So I think it's possible that we could get some sponsorship from Emeka's side. So I talked to also Sarah Jane from Australia, and she'll be game to come to Hong Kong as well. I started to talk around Angelo Vermeulen. I'm basically like looking into the tech fellows as well who would be interested to join forces to this open source project and see. Because I think if you have more fellows, then it will
yeah.
be easier to fundraise as well. But that's the second line. So basically the core is HKU. Then there's the second cycle is like Hong Kong universities like CTU, PolyU, where I have a good network of faculty that I think would want to have a couple of their. I would like them to basically send us their best students. And then the third line would be like all over Asia and the Makerspace and FabLab network. So that would be like the third cycle. And the fourth cycle would be like just open it up to everybody in the world. Like, okay, even if you're in India or if you're in Africa, but you are interested in space technology and like open source, then you should come. That's the strategy for communication. To
How many
identify it.
how many people do we have space for?
I mean, realistically, and also like who can we manage? Like I think we're looking maximum, I would say 30 people maximum. Because I think if we have more than that, just the physical infrastructure, like the number of mills and lathe and CNCs that we have, I don't want to have people waiting around machines. I want people to be able to work. We have a lot of printers. We have maybe 20 3D printers. So we have a lot of 3D printers. So that's not going to be an issue. We have three big CNCs that are strong enough to make like machine parts. We have two laser cutter. At the university, we have seven laser cutters, two big robotic arms. So we have all the machines that we need except plasma cutter. But I know factories and contractors in the city that have the capacity. We don't have it in university. We have one water jet at the university. It's not very large. I think the work area is 1 meter by 1 meter, but we have that machine available.
What's the print area of your 3D printers?
The printing area of the printers that we have, so the biggest one that we have, I think the working area is 30 by 30 centimeters, 30. That's the biggest one that we have.
30 by 30 by 30 centimeter?
Yeah, the biggest one that we have. But we have access to our network to bigger printers. Through the network, but not in-house. Uh, I mean, in Shenzhen, there's no limit to the size.
Yeah.
But in-house and in our network would be Hong Kong Productivity Council, HKPC. I think they have bigger and they also have sintering, metal sintering. Like they can still print parts. They can print steel parts. We have one guy as well who's good at making silicon molds, if that can be useful. If we want to cast some parts.
Right. And do you have welders?
We have two arcs. We have one MIG and one TIG. And we don't have a torch, but I'd be very happy to invest into a torch. We don't have a plasma cutter right now, but same. I'm happy to invest into a plasma cutter.
Torch, you mean
We just
oxy-fuel torch?
oxyfuel torch. Yeah. We don't have that right now, but I'm happy to invest in it. The other stuff that we just bought a machine to cut, guillotine, fold, and bend, roll, a roller bender cutter.
You just built
Not
that
for
or bought it?
We just got it from China. Actually, we bought the machine, the top, and yesterday we welded the base. The machine is 500 kg. It's not like super heavy duty. It is good to work with sheet material, to work with sheet steel or sheet aluminum. It's good for making housing basically. We can't make like big mechanical parts, but you can make like boxes and housing and pipes. We can make our own vent, for example.
What are the space frames like, for example, in a space station? What do they use there? Do they use steel or aluminum, or what do they do? Do you know?
I am not sure. I know that from Mars, because the high temperature can go very high, it's going to have something that has relatively good stability. And I don't think you can use. I don't think you. I mean, for us, for prototype, I think it's okay if we rely on like nuts and bolts, but it might have to be mostly welded, or like the Eiffel Tower, like it might have to be like riveted, like steel rivets.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure. Because it gets really cold and really hot in Mars. So, but for us, for testing on Earth, I think it's okay if you use aluminum extrusions, because again, what we're trying to do is to understand principles. We're prototyping principles. Like we don't have to use fancy Mars material because that would be
Yeah, I
be
mean,
out of the budget very
but
fast.
aluminum extrusions don't make sense for space frames. Space frames are welded or riveted. No?
Exactly. I think so.
Right.
But for us, for the principle, for like designing the frame, if it's faster for us to use like self-tapping screws or like nuts and
Just
bolts,
welding,
we can
man.
use
Just weld it.
or welded. Yeah.
Welded space frames.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we do
We have
steel for now? Cause that's
I'll take
why
one
is
for the
steel
aluminum
good?
welding.
Um,
It's easy
it's easy to
weld
work with.
steel. Yeah, and it's cheap and it's robust.
It's cheap, robust, and easy to work. I would suggest we work in steel, and then if you want to go to aluminum, of course you can transfer that to aluminum. But it's just more complicated to work on aluminum and twice as
Yeah,
expensive.
okay. I'm happy to work with mild steel, like if it's not a very thick plate, because we don't really have the expertise or tooling to work with very thick plates, and because the people going to be working are rather quite young, we're
Yeah,
not going
no,
to
it will
work
have to
like
be light space frame like structures. So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay. Um,
But don't think that you have to do a lot of R&D ahead of time. I think because we have the material so easily accessible here, um, it's easy to find parts here. So the idea is that we really focus on doing the first week the things that you already know how to do, and the second week is really a week of R&D.
yeah.
It's R&D. We want so I don't want you to think that you have to prepare like many weeks ahead of time. It's
Right.
not that. Like I think it would be much more exciting for the student to see what is R&D rather than you prepare it and you know.
Yeah.
So also it's less time for you to prepare. Basically, I want to minimize your time to prepare
Yeah.
and maximize the
No, I
learning
mean we
experience for
can
the
totally
student.
do an experimental R&D workshop like that without much preparation outside of just applying, knowing the techniques that we do. We can apply them and work them in real time. Um, would you be so you'd be there and say Alvaro, Hannah, or Lydia,
Yeah, exactly.
but like you and me, between you and me, guiding, that would be pretty good. If
Yeah.
as far as conceptualizing what we're actually going to build, would that be between you, me, and like Alvaro, or like how would that work?
Yeah, yeah.
Or like
I mean, It would have to be validated eventually by my boss Eric of the HKU, but he's giving me a lot of free space.
Yeah.
Like he's telling me like, yeah, like this seems like a great idea, and he doesn't have the bandwidth to like review everything. So basically, when I explain him the project, is like, yeah, like it's about space, it's open source. You want the kids to write documentation, awesome, do it. He's like not looking too much detail with it. I know that he really wants to. He really wants us to do high quality work, but apart from that, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
maximize the learning for the students,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yep. And how are you thinking? Do you have ideas like for the revenue side? How do we do that? Split.
My thinking is
How do we do the
to
split of
guarantee.
revenue here, and who covers which costs?
For me, what I'm thinking is I want to guarantee you the well, first, of course, you pay for your flight and for the stay and for everything, for the food while you're here. And then, of course, we pay you like a fee for being the instructor. So like this, we can guarantee that there's already like a good fee for you as a base with the student that we have from HKU. And then what I'm thinking is that if we can extend and bring more people from international, that creates another social revenue. So if you have a core that is guaranteed with my student from HKU, and then if we can get the tuition from other students, that's good.
Are the students registering like as a regular? Who's paying for the students? I mean, is HKU funding that, or?
For my students, it will be HKU. I think for the HKU design pro student, I think it will be HKU paying for it. So like this week's, we don't have to wait for the registration to come in. Basically, we have a budget allocated to pay for your flight and all that. And so it's like that's the basic guarantee. And for the part that is registration, um, that's the part that I think that can add up, that can even add a bit more to the fee that we will pay as a kind of a lecturer basically. I think on paper you would basically receive a payslip from University of Hong Kong (HKU) as an external faculty basically, like a visiting lecturer or as a workshop leader or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as far as the active participants, it's limited to 30 between the students and international audience and everybody else.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think that you'll be coming just by yourself, or do you want to come with Katarina, or do you want to bring some other people from your team?
Um, this one guy, the thing I'm thinking about immediately is, what do you have for video support?
For video support, we have so in our team we have this girl called Maria. She's actually has background in biology, but she's become a director of education for MakerBay because she's just so fast at learning stuff. She just taught herself electronics and coding, and in the last 2 months she's taught herself video editing, and now she's doing amazing video documentation for us. So just yesterday, like last week I was telling you that we are hacking around air quality sensors, and she just published the instructable on air quality. I'm going to send it to you right now so you could see that in like over the weekend she just documented the whole workshop. I think she did an amazing job.
What's her name?
Maria.
Yeah.
I will send to you the documentation she just made. Uh, I also typically participate in video editing. Oftentimes what happens is I'm the kind of the editor. Other people film and I end up oftentimes being the editor. Ideally, I don't have to do it. I always prefer if I can delegate as much as possible. But it happens that I end up being the editor. Because I studied animation film.
You studied?
I have a master in animation film actually.
Oh, you do? Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I edit very fast. That's it, editing. I'm looking for the. I can send it to you after this call. But basically, the air quality. Okay, GSIS. Okay. Okay, here we go. Sorry, it's not an instructor, it's a blog post. Copy link, and I'll send it to you now in the chat. Okay, so if you click on the chat,
Yep.
MakerBay blog news exports essential maker. Basically, you have 25 students for a week. On the first day, the teacher had to build an air quality sensor. That was the smart citizen kit. On the second day, they ideate and they come up with an idea like how they want to hack it and make their own version of the air quality sensor. Third day, they went to on Wednesday they went to buy some components. And Thursday and Wednesday they start to hack it, and Thursday they hack it and test it. Friday they made the documentation, and then Friday late afternoon they presented to the parents the community. That's a very typical week for us. That's usually how we work.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can see that she made a video per group, and then there's a video overall, and there's lots of pictures of like how things are going. So for making a video, I'm not concerned. I'm sure we can handle it.
Yeah. Only I was thinking potentially video bringing a video guy.
Yeah.
Who's
Do you
actually
think?
the video guy is very much interested in terrestrial homes being made out of mud or 3D printed. So he's very
Yeah.
interested in this. Um,
If you count him as sort of your like assistant, I think we can like documenting what you do, and if he's got other capacity with filming, then I think we could probably work it out.
yeah. Yep. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So let's think about let's. I would say it sounds pretty good. So. Um,
Cool. So if you can send me by email roughly how much you think you should be paid to be working for Twix in Hong Kong, I think it'd be interesting for you if you spend a bit more time. I think you already came to Shenzhen, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you wanted to extend your stay after the workshop or before, to spend some time in Shenzhen, if you want to do some sourcing, or because I know you're looking for models, if you wanna spend some time here, I remember last time we were talking, you're also looking for stainless steel rods, or you're looking for um, the Peltier exchange, heat exchange component for your electricity generation, Peltier element. So if you need any pipe, and you want to use some of the time where you're there to do that. It'd be really awesome to have you.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be cool.
I,
Um, I think it would be could be very productive. So.
just before I was talking to you, I was talking to Eric Wilhelm, the guy who founded Instructable. He's coming to Hong Kong actually in November.
What's his last name?
Eric Wilhelm, Wilhelm, Wilhelm.
Uh huh.
And he's the guy who started Instructable. He's a MIT PhD in mechanical engineering, and then he left Instructable last year, and now he's starting a domestic solar company, because he said that solar is three times three times more expensive in America than it is in most places in the world, because of regulation, because of cost of installation. So he wants to make solar more easy for people to install all over America primarily.
Yeah.
And so he's coming to Hong Kong for holiday, but because he's here, he's also gonna go have a look around solar panels and some factories. So yeah, I mean, if he's coming, Eric Wilhelm, and you're coming to HKU, I mean, I'm super excited to bring you guys to this university, and the university is very lucky to have such quality visitor.
Is Eric looking to come at this time? Have you talked to him about the potential of this, or?
No, because he's coming for a holiday. He's already booked his ticket. It's November. It's like he's coming for how do you call it? Thanksgiving. he's spending something out of the US at the time.
Did you know him from before, or?
Yeah, because I did. I was a resident at Autodesk at Pier 9. So and I've been uninstructable since quite a while, and my instructable have been featured a bunch of times. So we've known each other through instructable first, and then through Pier 9, and we have a lot of friends in common.
What's the deal? What did you say, Kunai?
So Pier 9 is the R&D basically of Autodesk.
Oh, Pier
And,
9. Yeah, okay. Pier
yeah,
9. Yep.
yeah.
That still exists, or did they cut that out?
I think they've cut it out. Unfortunately, I think it's still a building still exists, but I think that's mostly dedicated to their own R&D, like Autodesk's R&D, rather than trying to bring. I think what doesn't exist anymore, I think, is the artist in residency program,
Yeah.
which is what I joined. Yeah, and also the founder of Autodesk, I think, was basically replaced. So I think it has become a bit more commercial. I mean, it comes and goes. When Autodesk acquired Instructables, Instructables was under a commercial section, so they had to make revenue. And then Autodesk and then Instructable was put under the education part of Autodesk, and then they didn't have to do revenue anymore. And then eventually, Instructable moved to Pier 9, and then it was very powered by this whole Pier 9 community and having access to like the artists in residence and the designer in residence, impacting residence that was part of. And then they shut down the program. So it comes and goes. There are periods of time where they are more like progressive and more experimental, and there are periods where they kind of retract and become more commercial again. And I think it looks like they have been retracting a little bit and being a bit more commercial at the moment. That may be one of the reasons why Eric has left Instructables and started his own company.
Right. So we're actually on another topic. We're looking for a senior project manager for the Steam Camps program. Take a look at this, the link.
Okay.
So I got a full job description there. Still working on it actually, because it's. If you have feedback on it, let me know. But right now it's got a working interview, which actually we got to rework that because there's some legal issues around that. But that's kind of how it looks for what's required. Basically, need a full-time project manager for Steam Camps. That's where we're heading, so that we can have a program that pretty much goes and grows.
You're looking for somebody who has experience in machining?
No. This is project management.
Project management. Okay, so it doesn't have to be super hands-on.
No, but it would help. We're saying that they should learn the subject matter as well, but throughout as they go forward, like so that in 18 months from starting, they should actually be able to run a camp.
Yeah, I don't have. I think in Hong Kong, I would know one guy that could do that. He's got a good job right now.
What's he doing?
I can share it on my network and see who can pick it up. But in America, who do that?
Yep.
I'll think about it. I'll share it, and I'll think about it.
Yeah, please share it. So that's a big deal right now, working that out and making noise about it. Yep.
That's good. I give you a taste of Hong Kong's markets. These are fruits markets. And you see Hong Kong is super dense. So you have the food market on the bottom. Above, these are like restaurants with food. If you go here, we have like a micro local recycling center where we take like every material, like cardboard, paper, but also buy copper and steel.
Yeah.
And next we have like a local hardware store. Here we have like a food like a wholesaler. And this is like the hardware store recycling. cycling center. And this is my little hardware shop where I came to buy some plaster. So this is a local hardware store where they have like all sorts of profile. We don't have Home Depot and this kind of like large.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome. We don't have like Home Depot and this kind of like large. We only have like a few large hardware stores. Most of the hardware store are these kind of like mom and pop shops, like
Yeah.
small mom and pop shop like that. And you see they store their stuff outside because the shops are so small. They're storing everything outside. That's the recycling center. Here you have a couple of like textile factories in my neighborhood. So these are like just like textile factory, some electric and electronics.
Textile factory in that tall building.
Yeah, factories are rarely in low rise because it's too dense.
Yeah.
So they stack factory vertical. So you have like 40-story high, and it's all like micro factories.
Yeah.
And because the city is so dense, a lot of the streets are aerial. You see, they're like flying over. We have like this kind of walking pathway all across the city. And
Yeah.
so I can go from my work to my home without touching the ground. I can walk above the streets.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, like electric stores. So that would be like an electric, like a corner, like a neighborhood electric store that have like timers and sensors and like big relays and some computer fans.
I
So
saw
that
a
would be like a
post.
typical.
I saw a post where you went to Taiwan and you showed that machine shop. So it's like little stores where you can get real stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar. Taiwan and Hong Kong are quite similar.
Yeah.
Except, I'd say in Taiwan, you would have more heavy industries. You have more heavy industries because Hong Kong, you have very little heavy industries because everything has been taken by Shenzhen.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh, and then like between every building, you have those tiny alleys. So that's really funny. Like those movies where you have like the fights in the back streets.
Yeah.
That that's Hong Kong is full of that.
Yep.
Now like restaurants like spilling oil.
Yeah. I got a question
That,
for you regarding. So, did you ever hear of the Changpa diesel, like those one-cylinder diesels?
it's not super common on this part of town in Hong Kong, but that would be more common in Shenzhen side.
Yeah, but
But
I don't think
now
they
it's
have
in,
any of that. Do they have any of that, like the diesels, the small diesel, the one-cylinder diesels, or that's another city?
it would be another city. It would be more like inland because now Shenzhen is becoming all electric. It's all
Yeah.
like it's becoming all high tech now.
So, how far is it to visit a place, a supplier of the other stuff? How many
I
hours?
think if you want to go to really see like big mechanical stuff, then you might have to take a short flight to Shanghai or something like this. But it's not far. It's like 2 hour flight.
Flight is like 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so in the Shanghai region, then you would find all like the motors manufacturer.
Do you,
Um,
do you have any
yeah.
friends that live in that kind of world, or no?
I have a couple of friends in Shanghai. They are not really like the mechanical engineering area, but I have. But if you want to see the craziest construction company I think in the world, it's called the B Group, and they are the group that built this like 50-story building in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. And where
And
is that
my
located?
friend, that's in Changsha, which is also an hour and a half flight away. And my friend is the new CEO of this company. So that's something that if you see it, you'll go crazy. It's crazy. They also have built their own farm, so they feed their own thousands of employees with their own farms. So I think you'll be super excited. Oh, Daniel Zhang, you talked to him, right?
Yep. Yep.
So
Daniel.
I think you would really enjoy seeing it. I think it's very exciting to see.
The Sky City, does that exist, or that's a future plan?
No, it's been built like years ago. It exists now. It's starting to fill up with tenants.
That's an 838 meter tall skyscraper.
I think now they built half of it in heights. I think it's got 40 story height, 40 or 50 story height.
So
And that was built in
is
three
that
weeks.
Daniel?
That's Daniel. Daniel's father. So Daniel's father is really the brain behind it, and now
Yeah,
Daniel is the new generation basically picking it up.
yeah. Is it true
And
that China, their food miles are like they've got like 50 food miles? Their food
I
miles is
mean,
around 50.
in the case of the B group, it's much less because they produce their food on in the factory yard
For the workers.
for the workers. Yeah, and
Yeah,
they have their own rice mill. They have their
yeah,
own food
man.
processing
That's
plant.
yeah. China's interesting on that. That's pretty cool.
That's that's why I think you should really see it because it's even within China, it's very rare. The way they've arranged their workspace, it's very rare. They have like a giant factory, and they also have a control room. So every air conditioning or air treatment unit that they built around the world, they are monitoring them and controlling them remotely. So they have a big control room that looks like a NASA launch pad or like a nuclear power plant control
Yeah,
room, and they can see inside of their machine all around the world.
yeah. It's interesting.
That's really, really, really cool to see.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are quite crazy. They also built themselves a copy of the Versailles castle, and they built themselves a pyramid of Giza in the factory yard. They're crazy like that. They're just like, oh yeah, let's build a pyramid. Oh, let's build Versailles castle, and they just built it.
Broad Sustainable Builders, is that Broad
That's
Group?
the one. Yeah, road group. Yeah.
And they brand
And they
themselves as
all,
sustainable construction.
yeah, because they're all interested in sustainability actually. Like the father is actually like an environmental advocate in China, and he really cares about the environment. That's why he wanted to have his fields in the same space as his factory to really force his manufacturing to be clean because he has to grow his own food from the surrounding of his factory. So his factory better be clean, otherwise the employees will poison themselves.
Is this B slab, the core slab, is that taking off?
I know that he's trying really hard to do it, but like any new technology, I think they are fighting for adoption. My perception is that they are the primary user of that material. I don't think they have become a large supplier of this lab yet, but I know that they're implementing this lab in their own projects.
Yeah. Are they building the B Core aircraft too, or is that future work?
That's a good question. Last time I mean, when I met with the father of Daniel, the boss, he was telling me that his main interest at the time was hyperloop tunnels. So he was working on a hyperloop large vacuum structure because they are studying how to build hyperloop across China, and so they need to have low cost, lightweight material that they can implement very fast. And so so the B group, broad group, was very well positioned to do that, especially the Hyperloop, the train, the Hyperloop factory is just next to them. So it's basically the neighbors is building the Hyperloop trains, like
So
the
that's
Chinese
pretty
version.
big in China, right? The Hyperloop stuff.
Yeah.
Like, is it actually about tunnels, or
I
it's above
mean,
ground?
mostly above ground, just for the cost and the speed. Because digging tunnel is is good, but it's very expensive. So oftentimes I think they're looking at overground structure most of the time.
Yeah,
It's also easy to maintain because if you have to make vacuum, you don't want to. You want to be able to inspect it and patch it, repair it, and you will have to have so many vacuum pumps all around the network. So, but because they also make everything like air cooling, they work with vacuum a lot. So that's why they have a good expertise in vacuum technology as well. So that's why they're so excited about
the Hyperloop opportunity. They have the right material, they have the expertise, and they have the network and the support from the government, etc. So they're very well positioned to do that.
Yeah. Cool.
Basically, if you can confirm the dates and tell me how much it would cost to fly you and your filming guy together here, then I can continue to push. The main person that I would push the conversation to after that would be David Mallet, the AI Space Factory, to understand better like what value you can bring to his projects. And after that, I think it's going to be mostly like administration talk, like getting the money basically.
Yep. Okay. So I'll get back to you on that. And yeah, no, this sounds pretty good. So I'll think about it and talk to my guy, see what he's thinking about this, and let's continue talking. We have time right now for if it's March, so there's a bit of time right now. What kind of lead time do you need to like for everything like on your side?
If it's university, I would need to figure out pretty much now. I would have to secure a budget hopefully before the end of the year, because university is quite slow, right? So ideally, I would secure the budget before Christmas, and so like this. Also, I like to do things as early as possible, especially if we find you all the way across the world. I want to secure the budget for you as soon as possible.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming soon, and because we will have Christmas holiday and then there's Chinese New Year end of Jan. I want to move now. Like I want to move in November and get things on paper and get the budget in November latest.
Yeah. Yep. That sounds good. That sounds good.
And so at least I can also order the material. I want to have some budget so I can order the materials. So when you come, you will have like all the extrusion and all the profiles and a collection of motors, and we can and a pads of Raspberry Pis and Arduino and sensors, and we can just start hacking right away.
Yep. Yep. That sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so we'll be in touch. Let's let's continue this. Yeah, it should be pretty good. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, we'll talk soon then. I'll
Take care.
be in touch. Okay. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.